Exclusive contracted novel by Feilu Novel Network. Elves. Starting from Xiaozhi's main rock werewolf inventory. The Silver Arena, Xiaozhi and Xiaomao's destiny war is about to begin. This battle has attracted the attention of audiences around the world, and even champions such as Daigo, Hirona, Adek, Kaluna, and Dandi have gathered in Silver Town to prepare to witness this battle. Just as the Battle of Fate was about to begin, the Pokémon World Inventory system was suddenly approaching. At the beginning, the identity of Xiaozhi, the world's #1 Pokémon trainer, was exposed, and a list of the top 10 Pokémon under Xiaozhi's command began. 10th place. The Rock Wolf born at dusk. In the Monero conference, he repeatedly defeated the crowd and helped Xiaozhi become the first-generation Pokémon champion of Alola. 9th place. A fierce tiger born from the flames. Challenge the world's #1 blazing roaring tiger of the Royal Masked Man with a hot meow body and win the battle. 8th place. Lizard King. 2nd place. Pikachu. 1st place. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. 1. Champions gather in the city. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 2 o'clock in the morning. During the time when most people had already fallen asleep, a young man who had just graduated from college was still operating in front of the computer in a rented room. Youth is a host on Bilibili and also a senior fan of Pokémon. At this moment, he is working on video editing for Pokémon. Finally, the editing is completed. He worked continuously for 12 hours, and even though he was young and strong, he was a bit overwhelmed. I stretched lazily with force, moved my muscles and bones, and slowly regained my strength. After a simple rest, the youth began their final finishing work. Print the title that has already been drafted, and then upload the video to the website. Finally, we can finish today. With a tired youth, he entered a dreamland. That night, he had a beautiful dream, dreaming that his video became popular and he became a host with millions of fans. Counting money made him feel cramped in his hands. Oh, how good it would be if all of this were true. Pokémon World. Baiyin Town, Baiyin Central Venue. The annual Silver Conference has finally arrived at the most thrilling championship after undergoing selection and preliminary rounds. At this moment, the entire Silver venue is already overcrowded. The competition has not officially started yet, and even the players have not entered the field yet. The venue is already full. Viewers from Kanto, cities, and even around the world are eagerly anticipating the upcoming competition. At the Blue Family and Friends group. How nervous. The battle between Xiaozhi and Xiao Mao is finally about to begin. Xiaozhi kept taking deep breaths, only in this way could she calm her excited heart. A pickup truck. Pikachu. Pikachu, on the other hand, stood on a chair waving a specially designed flag to warm up the atmosphere for the trainer who had not yet appeared. What a beautiful big sister. Xiao Gang was originally prepared to wholeheartedly cheer for Xiaozhi, but after seeing his opponent Xiao Mao's family and friends group, he defected in an instant. I really can't blame him for his lack of determination, mainly because the long legs on the other side are so charming. After seeing Xiao Zhang's foolish appearance, Xiaozhi really wished she could beat him up right away. To control one's temper, one must control it. She is a lady. At least in front of the camera, she had to pretend to be a lady. Xiaozhi bit her teeth and kept stroking her chest with her right hand. Only in this way could she disinfection and sterilization Xiao Zhang's heart. Why hasn't my little wisdom appeared yet? Huazi complained while looking at the athlete's passage. She can't wait to see Xiaozhi's growth anymore. Be patient, Huazi. There are still 10 minutes until the official start of the competition. The flowers have all arrived, how could Dr. Daimu not have arrived? This battle is not only of great significance to Huazi, but also to him. On one side is the trainer Xiaozhi, who has a close relationship with him, and on the other side is his own grandson Xiao Mao. I don't know who will win between Xiaozhi and Xiao Mao. Dr. Daiki really wants to know the answer right away. That must be my little wit who will win. Huazi didn't hesitate for a second and firmly stood on her son's side. Ha! Dr. Daiki is not skeptical about the answer to Hanako. However, although he did not refute it verbally, deep down in his heart, he still believed that his grandson had a higher chance of winning. After all, so far, Xiaozhi has had a 0-win rate against Xiao Mao. In the VIP private room of the Silver Arena. The room is already filled with people. Mr. Damalanki, the president of the Pokémon Alliance, is also in the room. Except for President Damalanki, everyone else is a renowned trainer. And their fame is not limited to Kanto and Citadel. In this Pokémon world, they are all top Pokémon trainers. The first seat on the left side of the room is Chairman Damalanki, and below him are Du, Juzi, Shiba, and Kona. After introducing the person on the left, it is time to introduce the person on the right. The first person on the right is a young man who is less than 20 years old. He is wearing a black suit on the outermost part of his body, a white high-necked shirt inside, and a naughty red scarf at the collar. Wearing a head of silver hair, with a faint smile on his face, even sitting face to face with the Alliance president, he showed no fear at all. He is a top trainer from the Fangyuan region and also the current champion of the Fangyuan region, as well as the young owner of Dawen Manufacturing. Your noble son, Dawu. On such a hot day, wearing a suit and tie, are you really not hot? Do. A light and agile voice sounded in the private room, and the speaker was a female trainer who was slightly older than Dawu, but only in her early 20s. A waist-length golden long hair, wearing a light blue sleeveless T-shirt on the upper body and gray cropped pants on the lower body. The girl had a smile on her face and joked playfully. Ah! Miss Hirona smiled. It was the first time I had seen her smile. I have been completely captured. The person who spoke out this time is an uncle. If there were a group trainer in the room, they would definitely be able to recognize this uncle at a glance. He is the current collective champion. Adek. Uncle, I can't stand the taste of the harvest. She is another female trainer. Unlike the plain-looking Hirona, her face is adorned with exquisite makeup and her attire is clearly carefully selected. A valuable handbag was casually thrown beside the chair. The superstar from Carlos. Kaluna. On the edge of the private room, there are two male trainers who are having a great conversation about the truth. One of them is undefeated champion Dandi from the Galar region, and the other is Pokémon Dr. Kukui from Alola. For the first time since the establishment of the Pokémon League, the 5 champions of Dou, Hirona, Adek, Kaluna, and Dandi have gathered at Silver Mountain. This time, President Damalanki convened all the champions of the Alliance with the aim of discussing specific matters for the Alola region to join the Alliance. Kukui, are you planning to become the first-generation champion of the Alola League? Du, who had been silent all along, suddenly spoke up. Kukui stopped talking to Dandi and turned to look at Adu. He smiled and said, "Give me a break, my 3-legged kung fu is not worthy of being a champion. How about you come to our Alola to be the champion?" Kukui half jokingly and half probing. Du didn't speak, but Damalanki quickly spoke up, "Ahaha, this is not acceptable. Du is my most trusted subordinate, and I am not willing to give him to you. Among the many champion-level trainers present, Du may not be the strongest trainer, but he is definitely the most responsible trainer. If he leaves Kanto, Damalanki will really not be able to find a suitable successor for a while." 2. System Descent, 12-year-old champion. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. After being rejected, Kukui was not discouraged either. He was just casually saying it, after all, compared to the origin of the Alliance in Kanto, the current Alola is still far behind. Adu will only abandon his promising future in Kanto and go with him to Alola to open up the wilderness unless he loses his mind and goes crazy. Alright, let's talk about anything later. Ziliona spoke out and pointed to the central projection screen. The contestants have entered the field, and the game is about to start. Under the attention of the entire audience, 2 trainers from Jinshin Town in Kanto arrived at the battle table. Looking at the familiar face not far away, Xiaozhi's heart began to be uncontrollably excited. Finally, it's time for this moment. Today, he wants to prove to everyone that he is the strongest trainer in Jinshin Town. Xiao Mao, this time, he will definitely win. With the belief of winning, Xiaozhi was about to throw the Poké Ball out of his hand when an incredible scene occurred. A huge light curtain appeared in the center of the silver arena. At the same time, a cold voice without any emotions appeared in the minds of all trainers around the world. Pokémon World Inventory System launched. This system will conduct live broadcasts worldwide. During the live broadcast, there will be prize-winning guessing. Participants who answer correctly will receive rewards. The live broadcast room has officially opened, and selected elite trainers will have the right to speak in the live broadcast room. The first inventory video is the top 10 aces of the world's first Pokémon trainer. A series of messages have confused trainers around the world. They were pulled into the live broadcast room by the system before even realizing what had happened. Live room, chat room. Adek. Wow, it seems like something terrible has happened. Hirona. The world's #1 Pokémon trainer, is it the Pokémon of the Dandi that the system needs to inventory? De Wu. Cough cough cough. Is it possible that the world's #1 Pokémon trainer in the system's mouth is me? Kaluna. You. Hehe, there's no such possibility. How did this chat room really work? It's not scientific. Adu is not in the mood to talk nonsense now. He has been shocked by the scene before him. The ability to converse with selected trainers from all over the world with a single thought is simply a miracle in miracles. Xiao Mao. I also think it's not scientific. Xiaozhi, why are you also an elite trainer? Xiao Mao was quite unhappy. He thought only the top trainers would be selected as elite trainers by the system, but now it seems that he has overthought it. Xiaozhi. It's not very normal for me to become an elite trainer. After all, I am one of the top 16 in the Quartz Conference, but it's Xiao Mao. You are one of the top 32 in the conference. Why do you become an elite trainer? Lies won't hurt people, truth is the sharp sword, and Xiao Mao was instantly defeated. Xiao Mao. Asterisk 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 asterisk. From the pile of garbled words, it is evident how explosive Xiaomao's mood is at this moment. Xiaoxia. Alright, stop making noise and don't even see what place this is. Xiaoxia was also convinced. Xiaozhi and Xiaomao didn't know how to watch any occasions. Didn't they notice that there were big shots everywhere in the chat room? Everyone else was trembling, except for the 2 of them who dared to argue in front of the champion. The bold people were not just Xiaozhi and Xiaomao, but the Rockets trio also started chatting in the chat room without anyone around. Musashi. I don't know what reward there will be for answering the right question. If only rare Pokémon could be rewarded. When the time comes, they will give the rare Pokémon they have obtained to Boss Sakaki, upgrade to a cadre, and become a branch minister, which is really not a dream anymore. Meow meow. In order to become the most favored elf of the boss, Meow Meow must work hard. At the thought of having the opportunity to become the housekeeper of Sakaki's boss again, Meow Meow suddenly became excited. Kojiro. Hello, can you two have some dreams? How can the branch head be sufficient? Their pursuit should be to replace Aurora and Athena as the right-hand men of the boss, and by then they will be one person below 10,000 people above 10,000. He wanted to see who dared to shout at them back and forth at that time. Kona. Why are there rockets players in the live broadcast room? Apollo. That's because we are the trainers of justice, and your alliance is just a hypocritical scumbag. Shiba. Yo ho, Apollo, even through the internet, people have become more arrogant. Last time we met, you weren't that arrogant. Apollo. Last time I was just playing with you. Don't you think our senior officials in the rocket team are really not as good as your 4 heavenly kings? Grandma Juzi said, Jia, why don't we schedule a time to practice together? Apollo. Apollo disconnected from the network. Qian Song. Hehe, the heavenly king of the alliance is becoming more and more arrogant. Shui Wutong. Yes, people who don't know still think that this world is the final say of the alliance. Dou. Well, isn't it? You don't think the world is the final say of you sewer rats, do you? It is not that Dou looks down upon the red flame pine and the water wudong tree, but the actual situation is like this. In his eyes, the so-called lava and water fleets of Zongheng Fongyuan were just rats in the sewer. If it weren't for their good hiding, he would have ended them all in one pot. Qian Song said, Red flame pine is too lazy to waste too much time talking to Dawu, summer insects cannot speak ice. Their lava team is not an evil organization that harms society, they are heroes fighting for the well-being of humanity. If it weren't for these heroes silently acting in secret, this world would have long been ruled by the Pokémon. In order to protect the interests of humanity, Qian Songming is willing to bear the blame. Just as Qian Song was intoxicated by himself, the still motionless light screen flickered and the scene appeared. At this moment, trainers from all over the world have quieted down, putting aside their work and focusing all their attention on the sudden light curtain. They are actually curious, who is the world's #1 trainer mentioned in the inventory system. In the midst of everyone's gaze, a young man appeared in the picture. He wore a red and white duckbill cap on his head, white short sleeves on his upper body, gray shorts on his lower body, and a pair of ordinary sports shoes on his feet. This young man is so ordinary that he can't be any more ordinary. The only thing worth praising is probably his age, around 12 years old. 3. I have never seen such a shameless person before, Xiao Mao. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Wait a minute. 12 years old. The live broadcast room suddenly exploded. They can accept that the world's #1 trainer recognized by the system is not Dandi, and they can even reluctantly accept that he is not any regional champion, but they absolutely cannot accept that he is an underage youth. Hep. Impossible, impossible, there won't be a Pokémon trainer in the world who is more powerful than Oni Sauce. Hep cannot accept that the world's #1 Pokémon trainer, as recognized by the system, is not his brother. Dandi. Is he the world's #1 Pokémon trainer in the eyes of the system? I really want to fight him. The illusory Dan Emperor himself, who is the world's #1, is not highly valued. Compared to these illusions, he loves playing Pokémon more, especially against powerful opponents. The Dandi deeply engraved the appearance of the young man in the video in his heart. The next time he meets him, he will definitely come forward and ask for advice. De Wu. Did a teenager in their early teens become the world's #1? This is too crazy. He comes from a prestigious family and has had a smooth journey since becoming a Pokémon trainer. With the support of his wealthy father, his resources are inexhaustible. Even in this situation, he only reached the level of an elite trainer at the age of 12, far from being a king or champion, let alone the world's #1. What is the virtue and ability of this young man to become the world's #1 at the age of 12? Is it possible that he is the illegitimate son of a deity? Kaluna. Do you think there's a possibility that this guy just looks young but is actually in his 30s? Kaluna still cannot accept the reality that a young man is about to step on their heads. Hirona. It's not without this possibility. Hirona is really not jealous of her partner, she became the world's #1 at the age of 12. This is too crazy and hard to believe. Why do I think the boy in the video looks a bit familiar? Mr. Du felt that he had seen the boy in the video somewhere before. Wait, is that Silver Arena family and friend seat? Xiaozhi. I have been spending almost a year with Xiaozhi day and night, and Xiaozhi immediately recognized the boy in the video as her companion. Xiaozhi. It can't be Xiaozhi. I must be dizzy. Ha ha ha, how could it be Xiaozhi? The little intelligence she knows has nothing to do with the world's #1 trainer. Her little intelligence is still working hard for the top 8 of the Silver Conference, and the gap between her and the top trainers is completely 1.2.1. She can't even touch porcelain. How could he possibly become the world's #1 Pokémon trainer at the age of 12? This joke is not funny at all. Although I don't quite believe that Xiaozhi will become the world's #1 Pokémon trainer in the future. Xiaojiang paused for a moment and took several deep breaths before continuing, but the boy appearing in the video should be Xiaozhi, the one we know. There may be 2 people who look exactly the same in the world, but it's not the case that 2 people who look the same still have the same backmeng, right? Look at the Pikachu on the boy's shoulder, he's just a little wit who hasn't run away. The audience seat of the Silver Arena. My little wisdom has become the world's #1. Huazi was dizzy, and it was difficult for her to describe her current mood. Isn't happiness too sudden? Although she has always been optimistic about her own son, believing that Xiaozhi will have a bright future. Even though she was optimistic about Xiaozhi, she never imagined that he would climb to the throne in the future, which really gave her a big surprise. He truly deserves to be my good son. Huazi looked excitedly at Xiaozhi standing on the battle table, with his eyes opposite those of Xiaomao. She wished she could rush towards her precious son now and give him a hard kiss on the face. Her little wisdom has become a true treasure boy. Dr. Daiki, who was by Huazi's side, remained silent for a long time. He seemed to be digesting the news that Xiaozhi would become the world's #1 Pokémon trainer in the future. Carlos Region, Chaoxiang Town. On the sofa, a middle-aged beauty was leisurely sipping coffee while staring intently at the light curtain. Hey, come and take a look at this, it's really amazing. Although Saki is not a Pokémon trainer, she still possesses basic common sense. A 12-year-old boy became the world's #1, which is definitely a shocking event that shook the world. Her family Selena is already 10 years old this year, only 1 or 2 years away from the age of 12. It is also unclear whether Selena, at the age of 12, can become the world's top unicorn rhinoceros rider. If possible, then she won't have any regrets. Dressed in cute pajamas, Selena took out a bottle of milk from the fridge, unscrewed the cap of the New Year's milk bottle, and began to pour it vigorously. She is not actually interested in Pokémon trainers, but her mother keeps urging her to go and see them, so she still needs to give her some face. Arriving leisurely in front of the sofa, Selena casually swept her gaze onto the light screen. It was this casual sweep that made Selena unable to move her gaze away anymore. There's nothing wrong, it's that boy. Selena never expected to meet the boy she longed for in this way. Is this fate? Selena quickly put down the milk bottle and sat down on the sofa. She focused her attention on the light curtain, not even wanting to miss a shot. Battle seat. Impossible, impossible, how could Xiaozhi become the world's #1? Xiao Mao cannot accept that Xiaozhi will become the world's #1 Pokémon trainer in the future. He couldn't match his image of Xiaozhi with his imagined image of the world's #1 Pokémon trainer, no matter what. Xiaozhi, who had seen Xiaomao's expression for the first time, felt extremely pleased in his heart. He laughed and said, "This is not very normal, after all, I am a man who wants to become a Pokémon master. The world's #1 trainer is nothing, just the beginning of the Pokémon master. His Xiaozhi's future is a vast sea of stars. Xiao Mao's cheeks began to twitch constantly, perhaps it was also the first time he had seen such a shameless person. New book requires data, 1,000 flowers for updates, 100 review votes for updates, 100 rewards for updates, and 1 monthly ticket for updates. There is no upper limit. If you like this book, please support the author. 4. The Hill of Claw Prince, a Despised Rock Dog. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Just as Xiao Mao was about to make a sarcastic remark, the scene in the light curtain began to move. Video start. In a room, Dr. Kukui brought the prepared food to the table and then placed the Pokémon dish made for Pikachu and the rock dog in their bowl. In just 3 strokes and 2 divisions, Xiaozhi swallowed all the food and couldn't wait to start interacting with the rock dog. This rock dog is not a Pokémon of Dr. Kukui, but temporarily resides in his home. Although today was my first meeting with Xiaozhi and Pikachu, Rock Dog was quite in sync with them. This is the first encounter between Xiaozhi and Yengogo. Then the screen began to flash rapidly, and a new image appeared. After a busy day at Dr. Kukui's house, Xiaozhi couldn't find any trace of the rock dog. Just as Xiaozhi and Pikachu were about to go out and search for the rock dog pushed open the wooden door and returned home. At this moment, the rock dog's condition is very bad, with scars all over its body and a limping gait. It looked at Xiaozhi with great determination, constantly licking his injured leg with its tongue. This pitiful appearance immediately defeated Xiaozhi. He quickly ran to the side of the rock dog and began to examine its injuries. Chat groups. De Wu. Hey, Kukui, is this rock dog really as powerful as the system claims? Being recognized as one of the top 10 Pokémon trainers in the world is definitely not possible with just a few brushes. What puzzled Dou was that, from the perspective of his rock master, the basic talent of this rock dog was actually quite average. At this point, someone may ask, isn't Dou an expert in steel systems? When did you become a rock-type Pokémon master again? Oh, since ancient times, there has been no division of families in the rock and steel industry. I don't even know this simple truth. Kukui. Kukui hesitated for a while and didn't know what to say. In fact, his view is the same as that of Dou, and the talent of Rock Dog should not be too outstanding. He is quite different from most Pokémon doctors, as he genuinely enjoys playing Pokémon. If the talent of the rock dog really reaches the ceiling, he has no reason not to tame the rock dog, but to keep it at home like a pet. Kaluna. Is it difficult to see if the system is blocking us? This level of rock dog can even win the ace. Can this trainer named Xiaozhi really climb to the world's #1 throne in the future? Why is she becoming increasingly skeptical? It's really not that she boasted. With just this level of elf, her Xanadu can kill as much as she comes. She estimated that the so-called Wanjie inventory system was conducting inventory with subjective emotions, otherwise it would be impossible to call a 12-year-old boy the world's #1 Pokémon trainer. Zilluona. They have just been subdued and haven't been cultivated yet, so you made a judgment. I don't remember you all being such shallow trainers. Dr. Oki. Hirona is right. Xiaozhi has the ability to turn decay into magic. Let's wait and see. Dr. Daiki seems to have almost digested his shocked emotions, at least not on the surface anymore. Xiaoxia. I'm really looking forward to where Xiaozhi and Yangugu will grow. Although Xiaoxia occasionally quarrels with Xiaozhi and constantly belittles him in daily life, in her heart, she still hopes that Xiaozhi has a bright future. Xiao Mao. Just like Miss Kaluna and I thought, this sudden appearance of the system is very likely to be using us to cheat. How could Xiaozhi become the world's #1? Xiao Mao didn't know how to describe his current mood. After hearing that Xiaozhi would become the world's #1 Pokémon trainer in the future, he felt happy for his only friend, but his heart was also very sad. He didn't understand what was going on. In fact, it's very simple. It's both afraid of brothers suffering and afraid of brothers leading the way. Amidst the questioning voices of the crowd, the video continues to play. After the doctor and Xiaozhi left home, the rock dog left the house alone. Finally, he returned with numerous scars, and this situation happened several times. In order to find out what the rock dog did after they left, Dr. Kukui and Xiaozhi played a small trick. Another night, they pretended to leave home, but in reality, they were just hiding in the bushes outside the house. Claw Print Hill. This is a place where Pokémon fight and level up against each other. Along with the rock dog, there are also many Pokémon from the forest who arrived at the Claw Hill. Xiao Zhi and Doctor even saw the evolutionary form of the rock dog. The main rock werewolf here, and there were two different forms of main rock werewolf. The daytime and dusk forms of the main rock werewolf. Two main rock werewolves opened the curtain for tonight's battle, and under the gaze of many Pokémon, main rock werewolves began a crazy fight on Claw Hill. Soon, the Pokémon around them were also infected by them, and they began to fight against their respective opponents one by one. The rock dog is also among them, and its chosen opponent is a perfectly developed duck-billed fire dragon. The flames at the tail burned fiercely, and the muscles on the body were tight and powerful, all of which demonstrated the high level of the duck-billed fire dragon. Chat groups. Xiao Mao. No wonder he was beaten so badly. Rock dog and this duck-billed dragon are not at the same level. The only advantage of a rock dog may be that the rock type is more resistant to the fire type. However, this attribute restraint will not have a significant effect in the face of absolute strength. Does anyone see it? If so, invest in the data. The data hasn't risen at all, it's really scary. 5. Xiaozhi's unique elf cultivation technique, seeking freshness. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Video continuation. It's impossible to reach the knee bones of the duck-billed fire dragon even when standing up straight, and the body shape of the duck-billed fire dragon also crushes the rock dog. And unlike the initial form of the rock dog, the duck-billed fire dragon has already bathed in the light of evolution. For the vast majority of Pokémon, there is a huge difference between having evolved and never having evolved. The duck-billed fire dragon didn't show any mercy towards the rock dog that dared to provoke itself. The flames attached to its fist and with just one strike, it flew the rock dog away. Xiaozhi, who was hiding in the dark, felt extremely anxious when he saw the rock dog being suppressed by the duck-billed fire dragon. If it weren't for Dr. Kukui's patience, he would have helped out long ago. Without any surprise, in the face of absolute strength, the rock dog was easily defeated. Until the end, Xiaozhi and Dr. Kukui did not intervene. Claw Hill belongs to the Pokémon Dojo, and human intervention is not allowed here. After leaving the Claw Seal Hill and waiting outside the forest for a while, Xiaozhi finally saw the rock dog again, which had regained some strength. Looking at the rock dog with no signs of discouragement on his face, Xiaozhi bent down, lowered his body, rubbed the rock dog's cheek, and sincerely admired him, saying, "You're really amazing. You don't flinch in the face of strong enemies, you're just so handsome." At this moment, Xiaozhi has truly recognized rock dog. Chat groups. Shinji. What kind of nonsense is this guy talking about? Does this level of rock dog also deserve the word powerful? Shinji suspected that Koji's eyes were faulty. He wouldn't even accept a rock dog with such a level of skill if it were sent to his doorstep, and there was no need to accept it at all. Lei Si. Shinji, you're here again. Lei Si was also extremely helpless towards his younger brother. Shinji's personality is very similar to his former self, even surpassing it to the point of not being inferior. It is unknown when Shinji will realize that this is a path with no future ahead. Musashi. Come on, little devil, make sure to cultivate this rock dog into a talent. Once the little devils have nurtured this rock dog, their rocket team will take action to take it away. Wahahaha, this plan is really perfect. If only it really went so smoothly. Musashi knows what he's thinking, but his past experience tells him that nothing will go so smoothly. Shiba. Actually, I also think this rock dog is quite good. Strength and level can be compensated and improved through hard training, but spirit is innate. The rock dog has a golden spirit that is different from ordinary elves, which deeply attracts Shiba. It is easy to say that one should not be discouraged in defeat, but it is even more difficult to persuade in action. Mr. Hiba, you're not trying to tame this rock dog, are you? Please don't forget your identity. Tang Tang Do is the heavenly king of the rock series, staring at what the rock series elves look like every day. People who don't know think you are the heavenly king of the rock series. Shiba. Back to the video, infected by the spirit of rock dog, Xiaozhi immediately decided to help rock dog with special training. The rock dog also felt Xiaozhi's fiery heart and accepted Xiaozhi's kindness. Special training begins. On the beach, Xiaozhi and rock dog are doing their daily special training. The rock dog kept shaking its head up and down, as if it had taken a breath. Duan. What training method is this? Is there any theoretical support? Can you really learn the skill of falling rocks by doing this? In addition to being the owner of the Canaz Road Museum, Duan is also a teacher at a trainer school, so she has a wealth of teaching experience. In her opinion, the special training of Xiaozhi and Yan Gogo at this moment is simply unconventional. How could they possibly fall off guard just by shaking their heads? Isn't it necessary to enhance the affinity of elves towards rock energy in order to learn how to drop rocks? Xiaozhi is just playing around. Xiao Mao. Oh, it's still that familiar little wisdom. He originally thought that Xiaozhi would grow much in the future, but now it seems that there is no change, just like now. He is becoming increasingly skeptical about the authenticity of the inventory system. Xiaoxia. Does this really help rock dogs learn how to drop rocks? Xiao Gang. In theory, it shouldn't work. Anyway, he had never seen any elf learn the skill of falling stones in this way. Just when everyone thought that the special training session between Xiaozhi and Yan Gogo had come to an end, a stunning scene occurred. The white light lit up the hard rock around the neck of the rock dog, and then an incredible scene occurred. Countless broken rocks suddenly appeared in front of the rock dog, accompanied by the rock dog's roar, and the sharp rocks quickly rushed toward Xiaozhi. Xiao Mao. No. Is it really okay? Xiao Mao rubbed his eyes vigorously, and he seriously suspected that he didn't sleep well last night, so there was a problem. De Wu. Unbelievable. De Wu has started to excel in English, which shows how shocking this scene is. Helona. Isn't it time to care about this now? Xiaozhi won't have any problems, will she? Let's put aside the matter of rock dogs learning to fall rocks. Isn't it the safety of Xiaozhi that they should be most concerned about now? Due to being a beginner, the rock dog's falling stone power is not very strong, but the target of the falling stone is not the rough and fleshy Pokémon, but a 12-year-old boy. How can Xiaozhi, this flesh and blood body, withstand the falling rocks of a rock dog? Is nothing going to happen? Is there a big shot who votes for a monthly ticket? As long as someone votes, they can add more. 6. Human-shaped ferocious beast. Xiaozhi. Seeking fresh flowers. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Upon being reminded by Ziluona, everyone realized that Xiaozhi's current situation was not good. Just as everyone was worried about Xiaozhi, her mother Huazi spoke out. Huazi. Anla, our little wisdom is not so fragile. Huazi's indifferent attitude immediately fooled the other audience. Furong. Excuse me, are you really Xiaozhi's mother? Furong seriously suspected that this guy who claimed to be Xiaozhi's mother was fake. After all, no mother would have this attitude when she sees her son in crisis. Huazi. Like a fake exchange, Xiaozhi was raised by feeding me feces and urine. Xiaozhi. A handful of shit. A handful of urine. Mom, what are you talking nonsense about? During the argument between the mother and son, the video continued to play. In the surprised and expectant eyes of his companions, Xiaozhi did not use any external objects and only relied on his physical body to take over the rock dog's falling stone skill. What's even more shocking is that after the fall, Xiaozhi remained as calm as a person, with no injuries on his arm. Chat room. Shinji. Sleeping in a trough. Shinji, who had always been indifferent, did not hold back. He had no idea that things would develop like this. Is that trainer named Xiaozhi really human? Can humans really easily defend Pokémon's skills like him? Is it difficult for him to be a disguised human elf? Tengshu. Lord Shiba, is Xiaozhi your legitimate disciple? As a master of karate, Fujitsu has always been confident in his physical fitness, but after seeing Koji's outrageous actions, he also began to doubt life. Shiba. Hiss. Xiaozhi, you really gave me a big surprise. I had known that Xiaozhi's talent was so abnormal. 6 months ago, when Xiaozhi came to apprentice, he agreed. Oh, I missed the opportunity to recruit my disciple. Huazi. You see, I said my little wisdom will not have any problems. Where is this going? Her little wit did even more terrifying things. Helona. I am becoming more and more interested in Xiaozhi now. Wanlong. Interested. Is it the kind of interest that I understand? Jayadilia. Wow, Sister Helona, you're too wild. Xiaozhi is just a child. Ziluona now only hates herself for not being in the crowd. If she were in the crowd, she would definitely beat up Wanlong and Jayadilia, two bad friends, to the point where their heads would explode. Video continuation, Kage. I said Xiaozhi. Main. Surprisingly, he used himself as a target. Mayo. He's acting too recklessly, isn't he? Lillian. Wouldn't it hurt to be hit? Shui Lian. It's impossible that hitting so hard won't hurt, right? Not only the audience watching the video, but also the new friends Xiaozhi made in Alola were shocked by Xiaozhi's reckless behavior. However, the worries of his friends were unnecessary. Xiaozhi, who was hit by a falling rock, had nothing to do with it. Like no one else, he continued to carry the rock dog through special training. Screen switching. Late at night, still at Claw Hill. This time, the rock dog took the initiative to challenge the duck-billed fire dragon. It has only been 2 or 3 days since the last showdown, but rock dog is very different now. It is very organized now. First, he calmly dodged the jet flame attack of the duck-billed dragon, then quickly narrowed the distance with his opponent and used the impact of his fast running to give him a counterattack. After 3 days of separation, one should look up to each other. Duan. Is Xiaozhi's special training so effective? Duan was a bit skeptical about life. In her opinion, it was a completely chaotic special training that allowed the strength of the rock dog to improve several levels in just a few days. Is Xiaozhi actually a nurturing genius? Next time she does special training for elves, should she also learn to be like Xiaozhi? De Wu. Protest, I suspect this rock dog is taking drugs. Besides taking drugs, Dao couldn't think of why rock dog's progress was so rapid. The aptitude of a rock dog is clearly average, and his judgment will never go wrong. Do. Either admit that Xiaozhi is a rare nurturing genius in a century, or change your mind and misjudge the talent of rock dog. Choose one of the two. Kaluna. I really can't do this question. Kaluna is going crazy. Helona. Don't ask, asking is the protagonist's halo. Ziluona didn't know how to explain, so she had to move out the protagonist's halo. In the video, the battle between Rock Dog and Duck-billed Fire Dragon continues. The more you watch, the more numb the audience becomes. Compared to the previous battle, Rock Dog's speed has increased, its attack power has increased, and its defense has also increased by several levels. Even its brain has become more useful. Is this Rock Dog really the one who was last abused by Duck-billed Dragon Blood? The audience strongly suspected that there was a replacement. Although there were some setbacks during the battle, overall it was still under the control of the Rock Dog, which successfully avenged the duck-billed fire dragon. On the beach, at the suggestion of Dr. Kukui, Xiaozhi successfully subdued the Rock Dog. Unlike other trainers who tame Pokémon, Xiaozhi's tame looks so effortless and free-spirited, without even engaging in a battle. He just takes out the Pokémon ball and the Rock Dog actively enters it. Rock Dog Get 7. Can engage in reverse attribute battles in DNA, seeking flowers. You are listening at Novel Full Audio. In a VIP private room. The others were whispering and discussing, except for Kukui who stared closely at Xiaozhi in the light curtain, unwilling to move away for even a second. At this moment, Kukui's mind was full of how to turn Xiaozhi to Alola. They, as the new army of the Alliance, really need outstanding young men like Xiaozhi to join them. Moreover, Xiaozhi is different from other excellent teenagers. He and Alola are destined and bound. Otherwise, why would he choose to stay in Alola for school in the future? This is simply the championship bestowed upon Alola by heaven. Tian Yufu took the blame instead. However, the emergence of the inventory system has increased the difficulty for him to obtain Xiaozhi. Without the inventory system, if he were to demand a young man from the chairman of Damalanki based on his position in the alliance, Damalanki would not have sold him this face. But now it's a bit different. After learning that Xiaozhi will be the world's #1 trainer in the future, even if Damalanki and Kukui have good private tutors, he won't easily give Xiaozhi to Alola. However, on the other hand, if it weren't for the spoilers in the inventory system, he wouldn't have thought of bringing Xiaozhi back to Alola. He needs to come up with a foolproof solution. Carlos Region, Chaoxiang Town. He is still so kind and brave. Selena thought to herself. Xiaozhi in the video, like the boy in her memory, is willing to help others and does not seek anything in return. Gradually, in Selena's heart, the two figures merged into one. There's some cat tricks. Selena's performance was so unusual that her mother, Saki, noticed something was wrong. It was the first time since Selena was born that Saki had seen her show such a flirtatious expression. Did her daughter fall in love with Xiaozhi at first sight? This shouldn't be either. Selena is not that shallow woman, let alone Xiaozhi, who is not very handsome. Strange. With doubts in mind, Saki decided to continue secretly observing. Alola Region, a garden of the Ether Foundation. At this moment, in the garden, a girl who looked like a lotus out of water was staring blankly at the light curtain less than 3 meters away from her. The girl was mesmerized as she looked at it. After a while, the girl slowly regained her energy and murmured to herself in an envious tone, "When can I have any kind of contact with Pokémon like Xiaozhi?" Because of her childhood trauma, although Lily loves Pokémon very much, when she really comes into close contact with Pokémon, she becomes uncontrollable with fear. She really hopes that one day she can train and play with the elves without any hesitation like Xiaozhi, which is what she dreams of. Video continuation. Kaki, Lilia, Momane, Shualian, and Mayo are surrounded by the outer perimeter of the battle zone. Inside the battle zone, Xiaozhi is engaged in an elf battle with a passerby trainer. The opponent's elf is a ground-type mud donkey, while the one used by Xiaozhi is a recently subdued rock dog. After seeing the elves on both sides and confirming the nature of the mud donkey, Xiaomao can't help but start roast. Xiaomao. The familiar inverse attribute battle has arrived. Xiaomao has arrived, and Xiaozhi is somewhat seriously ill. In battle, there are no difficulties, and he should also take the initiative to create difficulties. If someone is not familiar with Xiaozhi, they may think that this battle Xiaozhi is the first to attack, and Xiaozhi is forced to engage in a reverse attribute battle. However, Xiao Mao is different. He knows Xiaozhi very well, and he can conclude that Xiaozhi is actually the attacking side. He deliberately sent a rock dog to fight against the mud donkey. Xiaozhi. Xiao Mao, you are just too pedantic. Your attributes are not important at all. What matters is the status of the elves in battle. As long as you are in a state, even if you don't have an advantage in attributes, you can still win. Shinji. Hehe, you are still a crooked person. Shinji is quite disdainful of Koji's answer. How could attribute advantage not be important? In elf battles, attributes are a crucial factor in determining victory or defeat. That is to say, if Xiaozhi had not met him, otherwise he would have taught Xiaozhi a good lesson and let her know the charm of attribute restraint. Return to the battle, with the advantage of attributes, Mud Donkey gradually took the initiative in the battle. Just when Mud Donkey's trainer thought he could take the opponent with one go, Xiaozhi and Rock Dog began to cheat. Okay, let's go up, Z move. Xiaozhi clasped his hands together and put on a full force posture. Other trainers besides Alola are very puzzled by Xiaozhi's cool behavior of posing in battle. Tingshu. What is Xiaozhi really doing? Can he distinguish between occasions? He wouldn't think that just posing can enhance the combat effectiveness of a rock dog, would he? Tingshu couldn't understand how a trainer like Xiaozhi became the world's #1. Is it possible that in the future, champions such as Du, Dao, Hirona, and Kaluna will all hiccup? Did this make Xiaozhi pick a loophole and become the world's #1? Bonnie. Actually, it's quite normal. It's a waste of time for a young man to be in the middle of the second year. At the age of Xiaozhi, it's the perfect time to be in the middle of the second year. When she was 11 or 12 years old, she also liked to shout slogans and pose in battles. Looking back now, it's really shameful. The data for flowers, evaluation tickets, and monthly tickets is too poor, and there is almost no motivation to code them. 8. Make Alola great. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ferong. Does Sister Bonnie also have her second year in middle school? Ferong was shocked. She couldn't believe that Pony, who was as cold and charming as ice, would also shout shameful slogans during the battle. Bonnie. Cough, it's over, it's all over. Bonnie's face turned red and hot, as if she didn't want to continue recalling it. Trainers who have not lived in Alola only thought that Xiaozhi's energy had increased, and that he would suddenly become a second in the battle. However, trainers who have lived in Alola understand that Xiaozhi's second in the middle is not just a second in the middle, he is in a winning position. Tingshu just asked, doesn't Xiaozhi think that just posing can enhance the combat power of Rock Dog? The trainer of Alola here can answer with certainty that this posture not only enhances the combat effectiveness of the Rock Dog, but also unleashes its full potential. Kaki. Xiaozhi, let them have a good experience of the power that belongs to Alola. Kaki wants to use this opportunity to tell trainers around the world that Alola is not scattered in rural areas, but has a unique charm that belongs to Alola. Back to the video, Xiaozhi is shining, not an adjective, it is truly shining, becoming golden in shining. 6 dazzling golden lights were emitted from Xiaozhi's body, and then all of them were injected into the body of Yengogo. After receiving a large amount of golden light, the momentum of the rock dog began to climb step by step, and finally reached an incredible level. Let everyone see our true strength. Xiaozhi roared and issued an attack command to the rock dog, this is our ultimate and invincible assault. In normal times, when the audience heard such a second-level move name, they would have already laughed out loud. However, at this moment, they couldn't laugh at all. Instead, they stared at each other with big eyes, showing an impossible expression. Tingshu. I really do. Well, I apologize. It turns out that putting in the middle 2 position and shouting the middle 2 slogan can really make me stronger. It's because I'm too young, Mr. Xiaozhi. Xiao Mao. What happened? Who can tell me that the strength of that rock dog has increased so much in an instant? What exactly are those golden lights? Xiao Mao felt that his three values had been shattered. In his knowledge reserve, there was only one situation that could make the elf stronger in an instant, which was evolution. However, the rock dog in the video did not evolve either. How did it suddenly become stronger? That's the Z move, right? Kukui. Remembered that the last time he fought against Kukui, in the final stage of the battle, Kukui's flame-roaring tiger also entered this state. The flame-roaring tiger that entered this state almost killed his quick dragon. At that time, he also asked Kukui what was going on, and Kukui's answer was Z move. Hirona. Kukui, is the Z move something every elf can learn? After witnessing the powerful power of the Z move, it was impossible for Hirona not to be envious. In fact, it was not only Hirona who was envious, but all trainers with pursuits and bright minds in the world were deeply attracted by the Z move. In an instant, the world became quiet, and everyone was waiting quietly for Kukui's answer. Kukui. The difficulty of obtaining Z pure crystals is not high, and the difficulty lies in how to obtain the Z bracelet. Most Aurora trainers obtain the Z bracelet from the Island King or Island Queen after visiting the islands. Moreover, it is not always possible to use Z moves with the presence of Z pure crystal and Z bracelet. Its power can only be unleashed at the moment when Pokémon and the trainer deities merge. This is an extremely sacred and valuable move. For the island, for Pokémon, for everyone, only those who care for all life in the world have the qualification to use Z moves. Xiaozhi. I see, I can probably understand why Xiaozhi can use the Z move. If competing for love for elves, Xiaozhi really doesn't think anyone can match Xiaozhi. Kukui thought that after he introduced the difficulty of using Z moves, everyone would naturally dispel their thoughts on Z moves. However, what he didn't expect was that not only did they not dispel their thoughts, but they also wanted to obtain Z moves. Those who are committed to becoming trainers are not arrogant individuals. If everyone can easily master the Z move, they will not bother to pursue it. Only when it is difficult can it be challenging. Many people are already inquiring about Alola's location. After the inventory video ends, there will definitely be a large number of trainers going to Alola to challenge the island parade. This kind of thing is actually something that Kukui is happy to see. Since Alola is ready to integrate into the alliance, she cannot close down like before, embrace other regions, loosen various restrictions, and welcome tourists from all over the world. This can also accelerate the integration of Alola and the alliance. More importantly, tourists are a very important resource, and there is no poor trainer who can travel. They are destined to make a windfall for Aurora. 9. Kapu. Did Ming choose Xiaozhi? Seeking fresh flowers. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Video continuation. Another day of special training came to an end, and Xiaozhi was walking home as usual. The sudden noise caught Xiaozhi's attention. It was a Pokémon battle, and by the time Xiaozhi and Yen Gogo arrived, the game had come to an end. They only saw a young boy and his main rock werewolf defeat their opponent's water arrow turtle with just one move. Looking at the imposing and majestic black knight form of the main rock werewolf in the center of the stage, the eyes of the rock dog were filled with envy and longing. On the other hand, through Lodum's analysis, Xiaozhi realized that the trainer who used the main rock werewolf was the person he had been looking for. Coincidentally, he was also the brother of Xiaozhi's friend Lilia, named Greyjoy. Xiaozhi immediately initiated a battle request to Greyjoy, but to Xiaozhi's disappointment, Greyjoy did not agree on the spot. Upon returning home, Xiaozhi thought he would never have a chance to fight against Greyjoy, but to his surprise, he received an invitation letter from Greyjoy at night. The sunrise slowly rose, and Greyjoy had been waiting on the beach for a long time. Just as Xiaozhi is interested in Greyjoy, Greyjoy is also interested in Xiaozhi, who is being stuck. The boy Ming admires is very interested, and he really wants to know why Xiaozhi is valued by the guardian god of Mile Island. Kaluna. Kapu. Ming. The guardian deity of Mile Island. Is this also a Pokémon? Kaluna turned her head to look at Kukui, hoping that Kukui would answer her questions. What Kaluna didn't expect was that Kukui's current state was very abnormal. He exclaimed in surprise, how could that be? How could Xiaozhi be related to Kapu? Ming. The people in the office originally thought Kukui was a little surprised, but after listening to Kukui's response to Kapu. After Ming's introduction, they finally understood that Kukui's reaction was so intense for a reason. According to Kukui's explanation, Kapu. Ming is not an ordinary elf, it is a deity stationed in Alola and a legendary Pokémon. Its position in Alola is equivalent to that of Emperor Yan, Water Lord, and Duke Lei in the city capital. No wonder Xiaozhi has his Z bracelet. Kukui seemed to have figured something out. He had previously said that in order to obtain the Z bracelet in Alola, one must go through the island parade. However, when Xiaozhi received the Z bracelet, he had just arrived in Alola and had no opportunity to participate in the island parade. He was still wondering where Xiaozhi's bracelet came from. Now everything is explained. Is Xiaozhi's Z bracelet a Kapu? It was gifted by Ming. Is this the treatment of the protagonist? De Wuren is a bit numb. De Wu thought his life was already smooth sailing, but he never expected that there would be such a strange person as Xiaozhi in the world. Just a few days after logging into Alola, I saw the guardian deity of the Alola region. Just seeing it was enough, and he was even given a gift by the guardian deity. Why isn't he so lucky? No wonder he became the world's #1 Pokémon trainer. Adek, who had not interrupted, couldn't help but speak up this time. By the way, Adek suddenly thought of something. President, why don't we let Xiaozhi join us as the champion? Since his partner passed away, Adek has long wanted to take off the heavy responsibility of winning the championship. He is old and has no energy to continue. If Adek had asked for a young man whose talent had not yet been realized before, President Damalanki would have had to give him face, but now it's different. The word for the first prize in Xiaozhi's lottery ticket has already been hung up. How could Damalanki be willing to give him away? President Damalanki quickly chuckled and said, Adek, stop joking. Xiaozhi is from the Kanto region, how can he become the champion of the group? Damalanki emphasized that Xiaozhi is from Kanto. Adek also heard that Damalanki was unwilling to let go, so he no longer reluctantly. In fact, what Damalanki said is also true. Hezhong is at least a big region, and if Xiaozhi, an outsider, were to be the champion, some people would inevitably be dissatisfied, which is not good. The confrontation between Adek and Damalanki also caught Kukui's attention. He is very anxious now, and as he watches Xiaozhi's talent continue to show, his chances of getting Xiaozhi seem to be becoming increasingly slim. Is it difficult for Xiaozhi to be destined to have no connection with them, Alola? While Kukui was frantically brainstorming, the battle between Ash and Greyjoy in the light curtain seemed to be about to begin. Video continuation, Main Rock Werewolf vs. Rock Dog. There's nothing to say about this battle, even those who don't understand Pokémon battles can see the difference between the Rock Dog and the Main Rock Werewolf. The competition is completely one-sided crushing. Just as the audience thought the game was about to end quickly, the Rockets trio appeared and interrupted the game, taking away Pikachu and Greyjoy's Main Rock Werewolves. Xiaozhi. Why are you everywhere? Xiaozhi was completely speechless. Xiaozhi has gone to Alola, and even he and Xiaojiang are no longer with Xiaozhi. But how can these three guys still cling to Xiaozhi? Musashi. Humph, do you know what's scary about us? We are not people who give up halfway. Ha ha ha, Pikachu and Main Rock Werewolf have arrived. They have been promoted to become cadres and appointed as branch ministers. It feels great. Kojiro. Will it really be that easy? Kojiro always feels like things won't be that simple. If they could really catch Pikachu so easily, the three of them wouldn't have landed in this field now. Meow meow. You need to have confidence, Kojiro. Without confidence, nothing can be achieved. There are at least 2 more updates today, including flowers, review tickets, and monthly tickets. The new book data is really important. 10. The Sentient Beings of Champions, the King of Baby Elves. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It has been proven that having confidence alone is not of much use. With the efforts of the rock dog, Pikachu and the main rock werewolf were rescued. Then comes the delightful flying scene. It is precisely because of this rescue that the rock dog has gained recognition from the main rock werewolf. Greyjoe also gave Xiaozhi a suggestion to challenge the Queen of Akra Island, which not only enhances the strength of Rock Dog, but also obtains Rock Z. Screen start switching. Under the leadership of Kukui, Xiaozhi and his team arrived at the ruins deep in the forest. Surrounding the ruins were various flowers and plants, scattered with the breath of life. Xiaozhi was immediately deeply attracted by the ruins in front of him. Is this relic the guardian deity of Akra Island, Kapu? Is the habitat of butterflies precisely because of the god of life, Kapu? The existence of butterflies gave life to the ruins. Inside the ruins, the island queen Liz is already ready. Unlike previous island parades, this time Liza chose a doubles duel. Dr. Daiki. Is it a doubles battle? This is not good news for Xiaozhi. Kanto is a very conservative region, where trainers advocate for classical 1.1 style. In other regions, emerging doubles are seen as fierce beasts by trainers here, and very few trainers in Kanto practice doubles. Although Xiaozhi is not a stubborn person, he has been exposed to singles since childhood. Suddenly, when asked to play doubles, Dr. Oki inevitably worries for Xiaozhi. In fact, Dr. Oki's concerns are unnecessary. The young boy in the video, Xiaozhi, is no longer a novice. After traveling to multiple regions, he has already witnessed various battles. He is not unfamiliar with doubles. Kukui. It's not an easy task to surpass Liz. Xiaozhi must muster up 120,000 points of energy. There is no nominal 4 heavenly kings in the Alola region, but in reality, the island lord is equivalent to the heavenly kings in other regions. Perhaps their combat experience is not as rich as the heavenly kings in other regions, but their strength cannot be underestimated. Hirona. There shouldn't be any problem. Xiaozhi is at least recognized by the system as the world's #1 trainer. As long as he doesn't mess with his work, there is no problem playing the island queen. It can only be said that the current by Kai Jie's understanding of Xiaozhi is still too shallow, and she doesn't do any flower work. Aren't you taking Xiaozhi's life? Xiaozhi in the light screen just finished a super big flower job. After Lizzie dispatched the main rock werewolf and Big North Nose, Xiaozhi thought for a while and chose to use the rock dog and wooden owl to fight. Xiaozhi's choice directly shocked the audience. They have also watched the video for some time and have gained some understanding of the elves in the Alola region. It goes without saying that the rock dog is a degenerate type of the main rock werewolf. Using it to confront the main rock werewolf, it must be said that Xiaozhi has great courage. The other one is even more exaggerated, whether the wooden owl is the grass lord of Alola or the grass lord in its initial form. Take 2 baby elves to participate in the island parade, Xiaozhi may be a bit disrespectful. Kukui. This is really true. Kukui was a bit unsure of what to say, and now he could only hope that Liz could act more leniently for his sake. The battle begins. The first to attack was Xiaozhi. Under Xiaozhi's command, Mu Mu Xiao used the leaf skill, while Yengo chose to drop a rock. 2 elves attacked at the same time, and Xiaozhi worked hard to take down the opponent's abacus. But he will be disappointed. Liz didn't even pay attention to the attacks of the wooden owl and the rock dog. She didn't even take action with her big nose facing north, only the main rock werewolf took action alone. The rock, thicker and harder than the gravel summoned by the rock dog, was summoned by the main rock werewolf. With a flick of its tail, a huge rock smashed into the skills released by the wooden owl and the rock dog. Unable to resist even a little, the leaves and falling rocks were quickly shattered by the rock avalanche of the main rock werewolf. Not only that, the wooden owl and the rock dog were also injured by the rock avalanche. Fortunately, the wooden owl and the rock dog are quite durable and did not lose their combat ability directly due to the rock collapse. Shinji. Is there any need to continue this? Both sides are not spirits of the same level. Shinji hummed softly. Although the battle had just begun, he could already foresee the tragic outcome of the rock dog and the wooden owl. Xiaozhi. How can one know the true outcome of a non-battle until the end? Xiaozhi disagrees with Shinji's words. In his opinion, being timid before a battle is a shameful thing. The rock dog and the wooden owl have not yet lost the courage to fight, so he will definitely accompany them to continue the battle. He believes that there will definitely be miracles to happen. Shinji. Stubborn and unintelligent. Shinji is too lazy to waste his breath anymore. A person who pretends to sleep can't wake up no matter what. VIP private room. I quite appreciate Xiaozhi. Zirona's tone was full of admiration. Not everyone has the courage to be strong against weak opponents. In Xiaozhi's body, Ziluona saw her former self. Maybe this guy can really become the strongest trainer in the future. I also really liked Xiaozhi's personality. The one who spoke was the Dandi. He also saw infinite possibilities in Xiaozhi. If there is a chance, be sure to have a battle with Xiaozhi. Dandi's hands are a bit itchy. Appreciation comes from appreciation, winning is probably not enough. Dawu still doesn't expect Xiaozhi to win. The level difference between the two elves is too great, and it can no longer be compensated by the trainer's abilities. That's not necessarily true. Miss Lizzie may release water. The island parade, to put it bluntly, is about guiding battles. The ultimate goal of the Island King and the Island Queen is to cultivate excellent young people for Alola, rather than destroying them. Therefore, as long as Xiaozhi can gain Lizzie's recognition in the battle, Lizzie will inevitably choose to let Xiaozhi down. Let's see to what extent Xiaozhi can achieve. Kukui said calmly. I don't know why, but Kukui has great confidence in Xiaozhi. He always feels that Xiaozhi has a way to defeat Lizzie.